Gentlemen, welcome to your HSBN Media Day press conference. Coach, if you could just start by introducing yourself and the players you have here today.
Coach Jimmy Bino with me today, senior Drewbina, middle infield, and with me is senior Will Savory, outfielder, right-handed pitcher.
I think you only graduated, 4 guys last year? You got
Three.
majority of your guys back this season.
Yeah,
right?
I think we ended up graduating 3, and this year we have 7 seniors, 6 or 7 seniors, I believe. Had a big freshman class that came in. Have a solid junior class that's been with us. Obviously for their 3rd year. So a lot of good returning, solid players who contributed a lot last year, who will contribute a lot this year.
It's an interesting mix. It's a
Correct.
team with a lot of young guys kind of coming in.
Correct.
Maybe from a player point of view, what's the dynamic and the chemistry been like? Building and kind of mentoring these younger players.
Well, the chemistry is great. We have a lot of guys who have been here since freshman year, so we're looking good. Team chemistry, everyone gets along really well, and it's gonna be a fun season.
And I think in your guys' case, it really is the case often with a lot of the players in Oxbridge that they get an opportunity to start as underclassmen.
Correct.
I'm pretty sure that was the case with both of you guys, right?
Yes, sir.
Now you turn around and you're that, instead of being that young guy learning from the guys ahead of you, now you're that veteran guy,
Mm-hmm.
Share with me what it's like now to kind of have that role reversal and be the guy teaching the younger players and kind of setting that example for them.
It's definitely interesting. I like it a lot. I think that we're going to have a good athletic team this year. I'm looking forward to my final season, so it's going to be good.
Coach, let's talk a little bit about where you guys get to play your home games, because it's something special over there at the ballpark of Palm Beaches.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Oxbridge doesn't have a home field. We're working on it. We're close. But, the flip side to that is it gives us the opportunity to play our home games at, like you said, the ballpark of the Palm Beaches. World-class facility for the, world champion Astros, for the Nationals. It's something special. And, if you're not going to have a home field, that's as good as it gets.
Yeah, I mean, that's nicer than a lot of college fields. That's really, what's that like for you guys getting to call that your home field?
Yeah, it's good. It's good. It'd be nice to have a home field at Oxbridge, but if you're gonna play anywhere, then ballpark is the place to be. It's a really nice.
Definitely good field.
With having so many freshmen coming in now, and with also having so many seniors, how are you going to balance getting some playing time for these new guys? And I'm sure there's some talent coming up as well that you need to get some seasoning for. How are you going to balance that and get some playing time? Are some reps going to be taken away from some of the seniors that may have not been otherwise?
I mean, I wouldn't say that. I think that it's the same every year. You're balancing what's best for the team versus what's best for the team's future. I don't think that changes any this year. Most of the returning starters are just that. I think that the 2 of the seniors we lost last year, only one was a day-to-day starter. The other one was a day-to-day pitcher. Our number 1 pitcher. So a lot of the younger guys had a big role and are going to continue that role. From the freshman side of it, we do have a JV program, a successful JV program that we're excited about that'll give them the opportunities to go out, develop, get better, and do that. There are some freshmen that I think will have a role to some degree at the varsity level. But I think that happens every year. It's that balance between having a successful program and getting playing time. But I think we'll be where we need to be as far as who's playing, when they're playing, and why they're playing. So.
Let's talk a little bit about the team dynamic. Are you pitching heavy, offensive minded? Where do you see your strength?
I mean, I think our strength obviously is, I think we're going to be really good defensively. Obviously, I think, for us catching the ball, making the plays, I think our starting 9 defensively probably as good as any starting 9 in the county, and I believe that. Coach Chad, I think, really believes that. Offensively, probably not a power team, but we're a team that's going to hit a lot of line drives, going to have a high on base percentage, going to steal bases. Going to have to manufacture runs. Pitching, solid. We're excited about, I think, the top 3, and we'll put it together from there. But I think really, we're going to have to do the little things, which is kind of, a hallmark of Oxbridge. We haven't, in years past, haven't really been a power hitting team or a dominant pitching team. We've had to play good, smart, fundamental baseball. We have kids to do that, and I think that's going to continue this year, same type team.
We've got a lot of versatility in the field. So we've got guys who are going to be able to come in from short and throw high 80s on the mound. So that'll help us in the long run.
Yeah, and I think, especially defensive minded, it's kind of been one of the niches as the program was built. I seem to remember last year a lot of lower scoring, real tight ball games, and having seen you guys play once or twice, pretty solid defensively.
Yeah, defensively, I would say the strength. I mean, we have a lot of high defensive players, but more importantly, a lot of smart defensive players, which I think makes a good defensive player. So we're excited. A lot of talent. We, college D1 type guys that are good players that do just that, and that's what we're going to have to be. Low scoring games that we win and go from there. So.
Let's talk about your schedule for this coming up season. Key matchups, who you're looking forward to.
Well, let's see. Heritage has 15 guys that can throw 90 plus, which is tough. I got to think that they're up there as a favorite. My understanding is Cardinal Newman's had some big transfers that throw. So we're looking at those two as programs we think this year probably are on paper would have a good year. You can never discount Kings, Benjamin. Obviously we're in one of the only divisions that has 8 teams, and it just seems to be ultra competitive year in and year out. And that's not in any way taken away from Pope John Paul, always a good program as well. St. Andrews, up and coming. Somerset is always a tough game. There's never a tough out really. Never an easy out anywhere in the schedule. I mean, it's solid teams.
In those 8 teams, where is your goal for that? I mean, obviously everybody always wants to win a state championship, but amongst those 8 teams, what are your goals for this season? The first 1 or 2 goals that you guys have.
Yeah, I think easy. Last year we finished 3rd in the district, which was really good. I mean, obviously Benjamin had a great run last year. Heritage, like I said, is loaded with arms. They had a good run. Our goal, I think, from year to year as a coaching staff is just to be better every chance we can. And, we finished last year in 3rd. I think we would like to finish higher than that, at least that. We'd like to make a run in the playoffs. We think we can do that. Really just we want to improve from year to year. I don't want to say, hey, we're going to go out and be 1st or 2nd. We want to improve. We want to say that we had a better year than we had last year.
And in having all that senior leadership on the team, have you seen a difference so far in the off season and the approach of the players and maybe some mentoring and have you guys been involved, the 2 players here today in developing some of the younger players?
Yeah, definitely. That's one of the things that I've always loved about Oxbridge is, even when I was a freshman, I came in and some of my best friends on the team were juniors and seniors right away. So it's been nice to kind of pass the torch along and do the same thing for them.
Will?
Yeah, I have a little brother that's a freshman, and I'm kind of guiding him in and outs of the high school setting, and it's fun teaching some of the younger guys that we have in the outfield too, the dynamics of playing.
Yeah, and I think from a coaching staff, we're seeing leadership. I mean, we have 7 seniors. Most of them have been here since freshmen, so they're familiar. This is the coaching staff's 3rd year basically together, so the system's in place. So there's an understanding what we're trying to do, trying to accomplish, and I think these guys have been pivotal in helping that, especially with the large freshman class we had.
And how is that off season for you guys? Were you playing tournaments? Were you guys hitting the weight room? Like, what was your focus during the off season?
During fall?
Yeah, during fall.
During fall is mostly the weight room. We also had, some of the guys would get together and work out, obviously. We had a group chat, and we'd sit in a group chat, hey, go to Wellington, we're going to work out this weekend, certain days. But most of the time, it was just in the weight room, getting bigger.
Did you find this off season, this fall season, different from the last fall season now that you guys have more senior leadership?
Not really. I mean, like I said, when I was younger, we had the same leadership. So it's been kind of the same thing. We learned those things from the seniors when I was younger, and now we're just doing it ourselves.
Talking a little bit about it, in regards to your coaching staff, but even just beyond it, since the program was started, there's been a really, really strong support from the administration, the community, the school. Talk a little bit about how much that helps you, starting and building a program like this.
Yeah, I mean, obviously a field would be helpful. But with that being said, I mean, I think that's true. I mean, they are supportive. They are helping us along that path to getting the field, doing the things that we need to do. It's, I think early on, there'd been a little bit of turnover in the program as far as coaching staff. But like I said, the third year with this staff and where we're going, it's kind of solidified, it's kind of stable. And it's been great because the relationship with the AD's office and really the school in general has been really good, very supportive, behind our players, push us, come to games, do the things that you would want to see an AD do and his staff do. So, yeah, I don't think we can, they obviously helped us go get the ballpark at the Palm Beaches. They've helped us with practice fields and things that have been tough, that aren't probably part of a normal school's program.
Yeah, it's not normally, especially in Palm
Correct.
Beach, just about every school up there has their own home field.
Correct. So, there's a lot of things that are different, and the only way it works is having that support of the athletic department. And so it's been good. We definitely have a ways to go. I mean, there's things I think as a program we want to build and do, but on the right track. Yeah.
Any spring break plans this year?
I think we're playing some games. I think we have 3 games scheduled. We're nothing in the sense of a tournament or anything like that. I think we have some games scheduled early on. Then we're going to let them take like the last 2 days to do something and enjoy spring break.
And how valuable can that be? It's a grind through the season, as we all know. You
Well,
give them a little bit of a refresh there, but could
correct.
be exactly
Yes and
what
no.
they need.
Yes and no. 2 years ago, I guess, we gave them the whole week off, and we came back and lost 6 in a row. So I think, that makes sense on paper, but I don't know that it makes sense in reality. Baseball's a grind. I mean, people say it's that cliche, but it's really true. And when they get into that flow and playing and doing and all the things that come with it, you want to try to give them that rest, but you want to balance it with keeping that grind going. So I think we learned, a couple years ago when we gave them that week off and came back and then just, 6 games in a row lost and struggled and went from, really sitting pretty to not sitting pretty. I think we have come up with a happy medium now where we're going to play a little bit and give them a couple days off and get that rest that they need, especially at that time of the season and go from there.
Yeah, the smaller window.
Correct.
Hopefully we'll still keep the rhythm that you're looking for.
That's the plan.
Last year, like you said, you finished 3rd in the district.
Mhm.
I think that was the highest finish for Oxbridge,
Correct.
right?
Yep. I think it was the highest finish. We had a really good season, and that's what's exciting about this season is the bulk of that team is back. Obviously, we lost a big arm in Alex Rayo from last year. Lost a big senior in Zach Mazer. Both that went to Notre Dame. But outside of that, the bulk of that is back. We had a couple transfers out, but I think we've replaced them adequately. I think we've got kids that are going to do as good a job, if not better. It was the highest finish, and a big chunk of that team is back. So we're excited. We think we can build on that. So.
Do you have any commits for this team that have already committed?
Yeah, so Drew is committed to the University of Richmond. We'll be going there.
Go Spiders.
Go Spiders, yeah. And then we have a catcher, Dylan Simmons, who is committed to Messiah. Is that
Messiah.
right? Messiah College, which is in
Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania, correct. And several kids very close. We have our shortstop, Jake Mills, is very close to a couple of Big Ten schools. Our left fielder Justin Hogan is really close to a couple schools. So, like I said, a lot of that level talent. Kids who are Will very close to a couple schools right now. So a lot of kids at that level who hopefully through this season or shortly after this season are going to be committed as well. But those are 2 right now. So yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it's, again, going back to how many years has the program existed?
8,
8
I
years.
think, or I think it's 8. Yeah, I think it's 8.
You example of the highest finish last year.
Correct.
You've been pretty consistent about sending guys and creating a college pipeline. It's neat as you start doing all those things because
Sure.
it's such a young program. It's you like you guys, you get to be a part of the first team that had that highest finish. Is that something you guys think much about? Is kind of you're writing the opening pages of the history book at Oxbridge.
Yeah, I mean, I think for the kids, and I'll let them answer it. I think yes. I think for the coaches, Coach Chad and I both are extremely dedicated to the recruiting college aspect of it. I mean, most of these kids we spend, summers with, falls with, and we want to see them succeed, not just for them, but for the program. The more we can do that, it helps the program. But yeah, I mean, you can.
But yeah, I mean, obviously the recruiting is like extremely important. High school baseball is like, it's great, and it's been an awesome 4 years, but high school baseball is to get to the next goal of playing college baseball, and I was fortunate enough to commit a couple years ago, and I'm pretty sure that we're going to have a lot of guys, especially a couple of freshmen, that are going to be playing at that level as well.
Back to the third place finish, I think that it's kind of exciting, but like Coach Jimmy said, we want to improve every year, and of course the development to go on and play college baseball after is definitely a big goal.
And every time that you do improve on that, that's you're kind of setting history in the process,
Correct.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and you've covered it for years, so I mean, the 4A level is good baseball. I mean, you got Calvary down
south. It's a tough region besides
south.
you guys playing probably the toughest district in Palm Beach.
I would argue, I think we would argue, we play in the toughest, from top to bottom, we play in the toughest district in the county. But at the 4A level, I think statewide is as good as baseball is. I mean, Calvary year in and year out, is pushing them out. But Benjamin, year in and year out, I think that district is as hard as it gets. 4A is as hard as it gets.
What are some of the challenges you guys are facing as you've elevated the program now to where it is? And I'm sure there was a process just to getting to where you are now. What are the next steps to elevate the program that much further? You had mentioned American Heritage and Calvary and these types of programs that have been very well established. How is the process of getting from where you are now to getting to that next level?
Yeah, so I think I mentioned this before. A field is the first thing. That's helpful. I think the second thing is, like that old saying, it takes money to make money. Well, success breeds success, and so I think the more successful we can be, the more successful we're going to be. Having a sense of stability, having a coach, that has a definite game plan, is active in the community, does all these things that encourages people to want to be a part of what we're doing. Having young men who both on and off the field represent Oxbridge, awesome. Getting kids to school committed at a university level. I think all of those things are huge and critical to the long-term success, but it's baby steps. It takes, success breeds success, and that's kind of where we're at. We're on that cusp of, I really believe on that cusp of, looking back 4 years in the future, looking back to today and saying, that was the turning point. This season was the turning point for the organization. I'm sorry, for the school and for the team, and go from there. So, yeah.
Well, really kind of in closing, what's the key to success this year to accomplish the goals you guys are looking to accomplish?
Well, let me hear what they say, and then I'll let me hear their opinion.
It starts with us. We're the seniors on the team, we're the leaders on the team, and it's like we've been talking about leadership the whole time and that camaraderie. And I think that we're very fortunate to have a very close team this year. And that's something that, like I said, we've had all 4 years, but this year especially, I think we're just like a really tight-knit group, and I think that's going to be the key to our success.
Yeah, I think we definitely have some chemistry. Like I said, I think that we're more athletic than ever this year. We're just going to go play by play and get things done.
Especially that dynamic, sometimes when you have a nice group of veterans and you bring those younger guys in, I've seen it for years covering it, that it can be that perfect balance, because those young guys, they're not quite as aware as a veteran guy is, so they're a little looser, and they kind of help to remind you to have fun, but at the same time, they are learning and kind of growing, and they give you that excitement of seeing younger players develop. Do you see that being a big piece of the chemistry?
Yeah, I think what's unique about this team, and I'm not in any way, transfers happen, I get it, but you see a lot of schools out there that, from year in to year out will have a lot of transfers in, out of the program. I think what's really unique about this team from a chemistry standpoint is that there's a group of players on this team who have been playing together on the same team since they were fetuses. Not really, but they were 6, 7, 8. I think they've been on the same team. Some of them were on the team that won the Intermediate Little League World Series, the United States version of it, through Little League. So they've won championships. They've been a part of it. And in addition to those kids, the other kids that are a part of the program have known those kids, and they've all been friends for a long time. So we haven't had a ton of transfers, but what we've had is kids who have known each other, played with each other, been around each other since they were 10,
Yeah,
since they were
chomping
9.
at the bit to have their turn to wear their
Correct.
Oxbridge uniforms.
And so that, even those freshmen that come in are all kids that have known the seniors, have been playing with the seniors, in summer ball and fall ball. So it's unique, I think, in that aspect that it really is a close group. And that's huge, I think, from a coaching standpoint, to have that camaraderie, have that kind of team. So, yeah, a little different. So, yeah.
Here's that being the key ingredient. Guys,
We'll see.
Thank you very much for joining us here today.
Sure.
Really enjoyed this. And
Thank you.
Thank you.
we'll see you guys out on the ball field.
Fantastic. Thank you.